Hey guys, Omar here. And do you guys remember the camcorder? I loved my camcorder. The best thing about the camcorder, it was like always ready to go.
We're so alone in the woods.
In one hand, you would switch it on and hit record with your thumb and just record moments. It had great stabilization and it was all about capturing wonderful moments. Can you walk? Whoa! Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hurry. 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not? Here I come. Dolphin's coming. Now I look back on some of the quality of those camcorder videos, and some of it is not super great, but the memories are just wonderful. And it brought me back to a time where I was filming more because it was just so easy to grab, open the flip screen. And also with the kids, the best thing was to flip the screen, flip the flip screen and hang out with them. They would like look at themselves. Yeah, what do you want to say? What do you want to say? Say that's me.
Me.
That's you, yeah.
Go, go, go.
No, you're ruining everything. Get me.
Which brings us to the Sony ZV-1. This has become my little camcorder in my pocket. And I've had it for a couple of weeks and I've just been loving recording with it. And I'll show you the best feature right now. We're gonna go through a little bit about the camera, but the best feature is this. You open up the screen and it's ready to go. It turns on. And then when you want to turn it off, you close the screen. It closes the lens and I put it back in my pocket. This is the perfect camcorder. Now, by the way, this camera is marketed as a sort of content creator, sort of selfie camera, so you can vlog. I have done that with it. My last video that I did, and that was completely filmed on the Sony ZV-1. So yes, I'm going to use it for content creation. But in this video, I thought I would kind of share how the ZV-1 is special as a camcorder again. Hi.
Hi.
It's our new camera. Hello. Sony ZV-1.
Yep, well that's good. Makes it easier, that's for sure.
Now my other camcorder for a while was the GoPro 8, but I found the GoPro 8 sometimes would just be a little unreliable. Sometimes I'd do a video where the footage was completely shaking or something. I don't even know why that happens, because of the stabilization or... So I've had videos that have been ruined with the GoPro 8 just going nuts. A super quick overview of the camera. It's pretty small. It has a 24mm to 70mm equivalent front lens. It also has a little bit of a grip here, which feels nice in the hand for a tiny camera. It does 20 megapixel photos. It comes with a little microphone on the top, which also includes a little dead cat windscreen. It has a super large record button. You can also, by the way, program the shutter to be your record button. It has a rocker zoom, just like my old little camcorder. You can zoom just like a camcorder, which is great. It has a mode button instead of a mode dial. It has a idiot-proof, make my background blurry portrait mode called the defocus button, which is nice. In the box, you also get a cable to charge the camera. You get that little windscreen I talked about. Now, although the batteries are super tiny, I've been impressed with the battery life. You can record about over an hour or so. So it hasn't been anything horrendous. So it seems like the camera is nice and efficient. It doesn't get warm or anything. So I think Sony has figured out how to make a small camera work efficiently. All right, so is the ZV-1 for you? Well, here are some of my favorite features of this little mini camcorder. Number one is it's mini. It completely fits in your pocket, a purse, a little bag, so you can film anytime you want. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't have lenses you have to buy. It has a lens already on it. that's 24 to 70, so that's number 2. Number 3, the turn on, turn off flip screen thing is fantastic because that's the only way I turn the camera on. Having the flip screen protected is also a bonus feature. The eye autofocus is basically flawless. It's perfect. It'll stick onto your eye, so it's great for recording yourself and others. My next favorite feature is the camera has a 24 to 70 lens, but Sony cameras have a feature called clear zoom, which gives you 2 times even more zoom beyond the lens without any degradation in the, I was impressed that I used that word, any kind of loss in quality of the video. So this has clear zoom, so you can actually shoot at 140 millimeters, which is kind of cool. My next favorite feature is the stabilization. The camera will actually have no stabilization. One of them called standard, which is the lens stabilizing, which does a little bit. I didn't really love that one. The camera still shakes a little if you hold it in your hand. And the active stabilization is amazing. The only problem is that it crops in a little bit, which in most of the reviews I saw, that was the biggest hang up with the camera, is that when you shoot 4K, and you put that awesome active stabilization on, it crops in too much. But I found with my huge octopus arms that I was able, even with 4K active, with my arm all the way extended comfortably, I got a pretty good field of view for filming myself. The only issue is that the further the camera is away from you, if you're filming yourself, the further the microphone is. And that's my next favorite feature, is the microphone is pretty good in a pinch, I would say. Showed you a little bit about what goes into scouting. So I just tried to shop for jeans. It's so hard to shop. I kind of hate shopping. I tried on some pants, but they didn't really fit so great. So I drove 20 minutes for nothing. Now it is a little breezy and windy, so I'm wondering how the audio sounds. There's a pretty good breeze. The wind is coming this way. So I'm gonna try this here. A lot of highway noise. And then I'm gonna take this little dead cat off. Okay, that's what it sounds like without the dead cat on there, this little guy. When you're outside, it kind of picks up a lot of the ambient, and when you're in a room that's echoey, it doesn't sound super great. But if you're in a car, the microphone is pretty good. Hit the defocus button on this. Let's hit the clear button. Okay, we are on clear, and it looks like the shutter speed stayed the same. 125 shutter for a little judder. We're trying the active stabilization while driving, and let's shoot the road a little. Okay, so this simulates you're on vacation and you want to record that upcoming mountain. Now we don't have mountains here, but we do have very cool signs. I would say if you want better audio quality, you should probably pick up one of those cheapy like Rode Video Micro or the Deity Mini that we've talked about on the channel. They don't need a battery and they plug right in and they're small. And then for my video that I recorded with the ZV-1, I used the Rode Wireless Go wireless system on there, and then I clipped it to my bag, and that sounds the absolute best. So I'm walking in the woods, and the sound should be better because I have the Rode Wireless Go here, and it's hooked up to the camera. This is probably the best option if you are gonna vlog. It's very small. The Wireless Go kind of can be hidden. I kind of like this option. But again, we're talking about this camera being a camcorder, not a creator blogger thingamabub. And the last cool feature I love is it has a little ND filter, a neutral density filter. That's kind of like putting sunglasses on the lens inside. And that's great if it's super bright out. When you're shooting video, you don't want the shutter speed to be so high because you get what's called judder. Like the motion doesn't look so great, it looks too clear. And so putting sunglasses or the ND filter on the lens helps to slow down the shutter speed for better motion. Now, although I've been shooting in 4K and loving the 4K, I tried 1080p on here because when you shoot family videos, sometimes, you know, they have hard drive after hard drive full of family videos. 4K takes a little bit more space. So the 1080p actually looks pretty good. All right, so that's all the stuff I love and everything going for the camera. There's a couple of hang-ups, I would say. The first one is it's super high. They shouldn't even put the super high ISOs on there. They're pretty bad. So I would say anything 6400 or above kind of looks very mushy. This is ISO 800, ISO 800, ISO 800. This is ISO 100,000. I don't know why you would use ISO 100,000 in low light. Okay, ISO 1600, see how that looks. Now you can limit the ISO if you're in auto ISO, you can limit the ISO on this camera, so I've limited it to 1600. Another little hang up I had, it has a pretty good like full auto mode. The only thing is sometimes its choices are things that I don't agree with. Like sometimes it'll pick an ISO that's a little too high. You know, higher than it needs to go. So it'll pick an ISO of 800 and a shutter that is ridiculous, like 1/60th or something like that. So it doesn't lower the ISO and lower the shutter speed perfectly for your video. Now the camera has gone below a usable shutter speed for video. It's gone down to 1/15th of a second if it's dark enough. And I feel the camera should have an emergency mode that it'll always default, or have a mode where you can always default to, hey, if I'm in a full auto mode, make sure my shutter speed is always double the frame rate instead of going down to 15th of a second and the video's unusable because it's too choppy. So it's got good auto modes if there's good lighting, but if the lighting is a little too dark, it sort of starts working on exposure as if it was photographs instead of if it was video. Now I do like the microphone, I just wish that it was a little bit more directional, so it's on top of the camera. I wish that it was kind of flip-upable so that you can kind of have it laying down, or you can flip it up if you want it to be more direct and pointed only towards you. I would like to see that maybe in a future version, but other than that, I love this little camera and I can't wait to shoot more memories with it. Look at that, medieval burritos. All right, I'll see you guys next time.